All right, so pulled the engine out, got the motor mounts tacked in place. I didn't build the side mounts for the engine, but I figured I'd just do that later. But according to the instructions, you just tack everything up to this point. You basically tack the whole boat, and then you do your final welding once the whole body of the boat's together. So got a little help from my brother-in-law. He came by, kind of held up the front of this piece here, and just matched the inside corners of those two pieces down in the corner there, and tacked them together. And I put tacks on the top corners just to keep them from falling out. So the whole idea here, I think it's the same as these chines were. You just basically lift and twist it sideways and lift until your inside corners match and tack, and then you just work all the way to the front, and hopefully things in the front are matching up pretty good at that point. There's some tabs on the back that from everything else I've seen, you're just kind of matching inside corners, which is what I did right there. So I don't know what that's gonna cause to happen in the front. Maybe I should have started a little further backward, further back than I did. It's kind of a tough call, but I guess I'll see once I get up to the front on the first piece, how bad it is. But essentially, things as they bow and flex, it makes them shorter or longer as you're going towards the front. So it's really hard to tell, whether it's because you started out too far forward or too far back, or whether because your angles aren't, right on, all these pieces that you're welding on. And of course, once this piece is tacked up, there's another piece strip that goes along here, on this, makes up that corner, and then essentially have the deck that goes on, I believe after that, and it butts up to here, and then you got the dash component on the deck, front deck, and by the time you get to the top, the width and the shape and the form should be right for that deck. But I'm not really confident that it's going to match up well, just because there's a lot of room for error. I mean, if you've never done it before, I just figure, well, if I get to the top and say I'm a quarter inch off on both sides, I'm going to try and form things and make it fit. Obviously there's probably some places you can trim and it's not really a big deal. I mean, you're talking the sides and the top of the boat. I think a lot of it's aesthetics. Your performance is primarily in the hull of the boat and on your chines, maybe slightly up the sides, but once you get past the chines, performance isn't the big issue. It's just making parts fit, getting them welded together, everything being square, the hull not being twisted when you actually go to finalize welding it up. But how much could it be twisted with all this? I mean, it's tacked together, but it can't really move that much, so I don't know, and if you end up with gaps in the front or a little extra or whatever it is, I think the key is, the instructions say in the front, when it comes together, if they're too long, don't trim them, because then the top pieces won't fit. So at that point, I figured, well, if I can't figure out how to get the width right and the length right, or at least if it's not something I can technically do or whatever, then I'll leave them that way. And if the hole has some gaps, you know, like the hole is narrower than, you know, in the front and these pieces than the top is going to be, I'll just fill, you know, because it's like, you know, I'm not going to spend too much effort trying to widen that hole to get the next pieces to fit perfect. I'll just make the top pieces fit right, and whatever extra gap is there, I'll fill, you know. I really don't see a problem with that. I mean, you know, it's not that critical. You know, the performance is mainly in the hole, so just at this point it's kind of match things up and make them fit, get it tacked together, and after that it's just start welding, you know, and they have an order in which they want to weld things. So anyway, see you next time.